I think you... Well, you might be right. Maybe removing one blaster and just having better flux management would be a better option there. And you may well be right. For now, though, I'll hang tight, but... Because realistically, that ship is not going to be fighting by itself. It's going to be much easier for it to operate when it's got a buddy. Right, is there anything else I need to grab? Yes. When I scan a package on an asteroid field located in the Beta Despair system, so a black hole. Avoid the black hole. Thank you. Thank you for making sure I understood that is, generally speaking, the best course of action. Yeah, venting... Honestly, if I had better managed my flux in that scenario, we probably would have won. And by that, I mean have been more willing to completely vent rather than just constantly worrying over presenting an easy target. Because ultimately, I became an easy target because I wasn't willing to vent. Right, let's do a little bit of a survey over here. Darkness, no atmosphere, extreme cold. Moderate ore deposits. Now, one thing to note. Yes, it's dark, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets here. Cryovolcanic, rocky ice world. Perform a survey. This one's got extreme cold, tectonic activity, thin atmosphere, extreme weather, and darkness. Diffuse volatiles, moderate ore deposits, moderate rare ore deposits. Okay, so a mine placed here. The only thing, if this had organics on it as well, then a single mine would be able to get the vast majority of all basic resources in the game. Black holes are great shortcuts in No Man's Sky. So surely they will be here as well. No. And who doesn't like to live in Beta Despair? I know, right? Nothing there. But yeah, had there been organics on that world, it would have been pretty solid. A really, really nice world, actually. Just for raw resource. I mean, not nice to live on, realistically speaking, but very nice for resources. Let's find out about you. This is a frozen world. Dark, dense atmosphere, extreme cold, high gravity. Literally, a fleet can specialized surveying equipment that reduces the survey requiring costs. -20 heavy machine, -20 supplies. Plentiful volatiles, abundant ore deposits, and moderate... Right, okay, well this is a very nice one. Class 3 survey data, this. Wow. What was this one? Diffuse, moderate, and moderate. So no bonuses, but all three are present. Whereas this one, moderate, +1, and +2. But -300 on that. Whereas it's only -27. Only -275. Drop a save. Now, let's just burn on past the black hole, shall we? Degraded shields on the ISS Iris have been repaired. Very nice. So one of the nice things that even while a fleet is mothballed, you're still capable of repairing it. I'm not entirely sure that should be the case. I kind of feel like, again, it makes the ability really powerful because you could just take in a bunch of mothballed, utterly junk ships and repair them over time, whilst having very low cost to maintain them in your fleet. Your nav officer reports that your fleets have arrived at the coordinates provided by the quantum chemistry team. It's time to activate the instrument package. Your nav officer nods as you confirm that their subsystem is ready for input. The ops chief gives a thumbs up to indicate that the instruments are deployed according to instruction. The go button flashes softly. Execute the scan. Maneuvering thrusters activate in a series of tight bursts, setting you on a graceful arc. Like a calligraphic stroke. A calligraphic. Would it be calligraphic? Or calligraphic? I'm not sure. Stroke across the asteroid field before you. I know what the word means, but I'm not sure how I'd pronounce it. Systems indicate a power drain, and in mere minutes the procedure is complete. Your comms officer reports a small hypercom pulse, the signal to the Galatia Academy to release your payment. Your balance bridge crew reports in turn, status normal, ready to resume course. Not bad. Is that Hadrach? Arbitrary month, count best month. Thank you very much for the 27 months, buddy. Good morning, Road Train. I shall now go watch more Valheim VODs. Okay, enjoy. I'm assuming this is just death, but what happens if you fly into the hyperspace storm? Into a hyperspace storm, it bounces you. It does some damage and accelerates you enormously. It can be, if used strategically, a way to shorten the trip. You'll use less fuel as you get bounced closer, and it'll be less time. But you will take damage, like a lot. Typically, the damage is combat readiness, and it'll drop you more or less to 0 combat readiness, which means you're going to burn through supplies in order to recover from there. Oh, there's something down there. Another barren world. Sparse deposits, not particularly good. Yeah, the real damage is in supplies. What have we here? A research station, eh? And an ice giant. A giant planet composed primarily of water, ammonia, and methane. Within the depths, gravity generates enough pressure to form a core of metallic hydrogen. Abundant volatiles. Okay, so this place is great for volatiles, but and to be fair, at least 2 planets with decent mining opportunities. So you could mine and refine metals and transplutonics from their constituent rods, and make fuel. Largely from the materials here, but you wouldn't be able to sustain a population because you have not got food. Like, without trade, that is. And yeah, if you're flying slow, nothing happens to you going through a storm. Hi, Gingerbeard. How you doing, mate? Wishing you a lovely daylight. Day/night. Just stopping by on the way. I have some VODs to catch up on. I understand. Enjoy the VODs, mate. And Barreton, thank you very much for the 21 months. Good One pirate raid or convoy attack and your colony is likely SOL. No. It will just reduce the production of the population center. They would have to perform sustained, targeted interference. Not just shooting down a couple of convoys, but actually raiding the colony for it to seriously pose a problem. It would just hit your pocket, your bottom line. It wouldn't realistically damage the colony, just losing food trade. With this many planets, this many patrol HQs, you would have quite a sizable fleet of ships to defend it. Salvage crews report several ships. Your fleet approaches a research station, an abandoned research station built either to study some interesting local phenomena, like a black hole, or to study that which is best kept far, far away from inhabited worlds, like a black hole. A cursory scan indicates that it has been cold and dead for tens of cycles at the very least, possibly hundreds. Closer inspection may yield salvage. Salvage crews report several ships floating in the station. Closer inspection reveals they could be restored to basic functionality. We've got a tanker, a shuttle, and a civilian transport. This one without any problems on it whatsoever. Do I need one? I'm not sure if we really need it. That being said, we are soon going to want a very large population transport potential because we are going to want to start colonizing. I mean, I could pick it up and just mothball it if I don't want to repair it and then sell it. I mean, it's not damaged, but generally speaking, you'll get more money's worth of material from salvaging it than from selling it. But we could fully crew it. Nah, sure, we'll take it. And then begin the salvage job. Ooh, wow! Oh, of course, we just salvaged the research station. Yo, Sax, how you doing? Right, so a Predition Wing blueprint. If we learn these, then eventually we can make them ourselves. Hegemony auxiliary blueprint package. So the Buffalo A-class freighter, the Wolf H-class frigate, the Kite A-class shuttle, and the Hound A-class combat fighter. With that, I'd be able to instruct, if I had built heavy industry or orbital works, that sort of stuff, I'd be able to instruct them to make wolves. Yeah, I drop by Shenmue every so often, yeah. We've also got a blueprint for the Griffin-class missile cruiser. And the Phantom-class phase transport. Oh my lord. An advanced troop transport employing phase stealth technology. This design was put to effective use by Tritakian Black Ops during the Second AI War. The Phantom should avoid ship-to-ship combat, as integrated armor and weaponry are only rated effective versus light ground targets. That is bonkers. I'm straight up learning that. I will learn the Griffin. The Griffin is a dedicated missile cruiser designed to provide a highly mobile platform for heavy fire support. It is not a frontline cruiser, and so operates best when provided with escort. Sure, I'll take that. The ability to make the wolves, I'm totally on board with this. Predition Wing. The combat-modified Perdition Torpedo Bomber is an attempt by Luddic militants of both Pather and more moderate sects to address a chronic lack of access to heavy ordnance, particularly during the early days of the collapse. A common civilian survey delivery Cranefly class utility shuttle serves as the base chassis. Excuse me. Almost sneezed there. Originally designed to carry a small cargo package or a few suited up spaces, the Perdition is welded into an ungainly shell of makeshift armor and the hold doors removed to mount a single hammer torpedo keyed to the old cargo latch system. That is fantastic. Convert fighter bay mod spec. Convert a ship's fighter bay housing built-in wings into improvised cargo holds, giving it an additional 50 cargo capacity and reducing its crew requirements by 20% per fighter bay. The crew function reduction is limited to a maximum of 80%. Expanded crew deck. Reduce the rate at which fighter replacement rate decreases due to fighter losses by 10% and increases the rate at which it recovers by 20%. Escort package. Increase the ship's maneuverability and the range of its point defense and increase the damage dealt to fighters and missiles. And Operations Center. I mean, these mod specs are absolutely worth me learning no matter what. But wow. Auto Pulse Laser. Numerous built-in capacitors are at the core of this extremely efficient yet potent energy weapon. The high burst damage from expending built-up charges is offset by the comparatively low sustained firing rate. Heavy Needler. Just wow. Just wow. Oh, you know what? It's probably going to have a bunch of... Yeah, there we go. A bunch of debris around it as well. Field is unstable but should not drift apart for at least 3 weeks. There are indicators of some easy pickings to be had, and the risk of accidents during the salvage operation are low. It's the first time I've seen a low-risk salvage operation. I still lost 4 heavy machinery, though. Oh, my lord. Converted hangar. And the proximity charge launcher deploys low velocity proximity charges with an impressive blast radius, especially devastating against fighters, but also effective versus armored targets. Sure. And the converted hangar mod spec converts the ship's standard shuttle hangar to house a fighter bay. The improvised manufactory that produces fighter chassis is unreliable, and most components have more defects. Fighter speed reduced by 33% and damage taken increased by 50%. Increases the minimum crew required by 20 to account for pilot and bay crews. Increases the ordnance point cost for bombers by 100% and of all other fighters by 50%. So you wouldn't want to stick this on a ship with low ordnance. But yeah, you could turn a carrier into a cargo hauler or anything else into a carrier, but relatively low power. Gorse cannon. Oh, we're gonna have to drop some of these off. But that was absolutely bonkers good. Absolutely bonkers good. Though, I need to properly refit you, don't I? Before we get too carried away. Do I have any point defense? Light machine gun, and that is really it. Light dual autocannon then, I guess. Well, actually, no, there's no point. We want stable fuel injector. We want militarized systems. Can't install that without a dock, however, which is a bit of a bummer. Okay. But look at all the cool stuff we've got now. Alright, I guess that's okay. We'll lose a bunch of combat readiness. Well, actually, no. We managed to get to that before it started to build combat readiness back up. But that is an interesting point. So, a Shrike with a bomber on it. Ooh. I mean, problem is it would cost me 10 to get this installed, and then however much, because it's double cost on the fighters you put into it, so that could be quite nasty. But I wonder. Could have interceptors, could have fighter. I mean, the interceptor's not bad. Though this does increase the amount of crew the Shrike needs. But yeah, the bombers would be stupidly expensive. No way I could have that. But an interceptor I could manage. Shall we see how this one does in a simulation? Eight versus an equivalent 8. Let's not go with something like that. Standard combat freighter, sure. Let's deploy it. See how we go. I'm just going to have autopilot running this one. Yeah, I mean, they're causing issues for it. Getting in around behind. Applying sustained harassment. It can't shield from all of them, so it's just losing its armor, basically. And they're not doing a huge amount of damage, but they are causing it problems. Yeah, that's not bad. They might even be able to take it out while the Shrike has to retreat for a moment. Yeah, they did. Aavak streams. You get one to send you to sleep at night, and then you wake up, and he's still going. Well, yeah. I could use story points to build the hangar into it for free, yeah. That is absolutely something we could do. Who's that? TV, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, everyone. You just discovered me running a quick simulation on a recently refit ship to see how it was doing. Hello, everyone. Hey, Chen, how you doing, buddy? I had someone in here just a few moments ago asking if I was the fellow who sometimes frequented your stream. Isn't the universe a simulation? Well, that's a pretty bold question, really, there. Because how would we even know? How would we really even know? There's no difference between reality and virtual reality to our brains. These are very deep thoughts. Repel the raiders? Psh, JD Skull. You've clearly not been here very long. No, we need to put out the tea. And the teapots. The fancy doilies. My goodness. Get out the silverware. Would it matter if the universe was a simulation? Not really. No. I have a brain in a jar somewhere. I don't know. The fact that I've shed my bone mech and meat armor for the warm, cozy comforts of a jar with a perfectly maintained temperature and a culture of various. I'm not really sure what might be in there to sustain my brain, but either way, I'm absolutely okay with this. What were you playing anyway? You're playing Black Sad Under the Skin. That sounds particularly interesting. I have no idea what that game is. You got the most sad neutral ending to Black Sad. I feel stinky for it. Oh, I'm sorry. That does indeed happen on occasion. I remember Lady Sheila telling me about one of her viewers when she did a playthrough on which one was it now? What was the first game you Let's Play Sheila? One with sands in it. I feel awful for forgetting. Undertale, thank you so much. Mentioned how one of her viewers sent her a very distressed comment saying how they desperately regretted doing like the more violent focused playthrough first because of the consequence of that. It isn't just you start a new run and everything begins again from the beginning. It remembers. And they were deeply distressed by this. It's an anthropomorphic detective game. Oh, that sounds awesome. I've been... It seems that there are quite a lot of detective games around at the moment that are catching my eye. Disco Elysium is slowly wheedling its way in, wearing down my defenses. I shouldn't be too surprised if I end up playing that again in the very near future. But we are currently playing some Starsector. We are quite far away from the core worlds, out in very dangerous space, full of quite angry AI. I don't know why they're angry. They probably got every right to be. I think there was basically a genocidal war launched against them. Nevertheless, we've been sneaking around doing quests for people in the core worlds. And, well, so far to great success. Though there've been a few moments where I've been deeply concerned about my life choices. We're currently in a black hole system, about to leave it actually. We just managed to grab quite a lot of loot as it happens. This is for anyone who isn't familiar, a 2D sandbox open world sci-fi game. Not so much a 4X, so not your Stellaris, much more smaller scale than that. Whereas Stellaris is like Empire scale, and certainly you can run colonies in this game and have like a multi-planet kind of faction. This is definitely more Mountain Blade in space, basically. Yeah, Space Mountain Blade. We are currently under strength, though. Quite badly under strength. Oh. The increased crew needs. That's annoying. I'm going to say we're going to mothball Melissa Riddle so that their crew can go to the rest of the fleet. But we are operating right on the edge of our crew capacity. We can't really afford to lose crew in fighter ships right now. Otherwise, badness and sadness. But that has dropped our fleet capacity for cargo reasonably. So we're going to have to drop off some metals as well. That adjustment to modify the shuttle bay to be a kind of a jerry-rigged fighter bay, that was a costly move. I still think it is going to work out well for the Shrike in the long run, but oof. That being said, the Shrike is now one of the ways that we could lose fighters, and thus the people in them, to a great disadvantage for our fleet. Alright, I'm actually starting to feel like right now we're operating very much on the edge of our capabilities, and it behooves us to return. It behooves us to return to the core worlds and at the very least stock up on more pilots. We can find Aavak just by following the trail of metal he keeps ejecting. Yeah, pretty much. That is very true. Right, okay. Are there any more missions up here? I don't think so. I think we actually got the last one. Yes, we did. So we can now go back to the core worlds. Galatia, ideally. But honestly, any inhabited world would do. So we could go to Zagan. And then just drop into one of the stations there. I think that's reasonable. Okay, let's have a look at the Starscape. Alright, we're going to want to go down the left. More or less until we hit the Alpha Imaros Nebula. Hello, Milky Crown. Alright, time to be on our way. We got more than enough fuel and supplies to do what we need to do, but yeah. That being said, yeah, we're just repairing at the moment, so that's why we're using 4.9 instead of the usual a little bit less than 2. Hello? Okay, that's a medium warning. Not sure what a medium danger remnant area would be. You have to find and catch a live stream for once. Hello. Officer promotion. Did you see that right? Did you? I'd be surprised. They're level 5 already. They can't gain a promotion. You can have higher than level 5 officers, but they are typically officers you find. Well, mind you, we found that officer in a cryopod, but usually they're more attached to some sort of mission or another, but I've seen officers as high as level 7. Oh, poop. Actually, we're starting to get to the area where get any further down here is going to be difficult, so let's go dark so we slow right down. Just travel through this storm. Yeah, this game does have actually some really nice art. We can go back to sustained burn now. Again, reasonably close. There's the nebula that we wanted to turn right at. So we're about in the right place. Just try and weave through this storm. Then hang a hard right. Yeah, there we go. Hello down there, mercantile convoy. Returning to Ilmar with fuel and marines. Oh, wow, okay. So we just got within range of a comm relay. So, one of the things I really love about this game is the idea that the information just doesn't transmit instantly. So all of a sudden, we've just got a massive burst transmission of all of the bounties that have been being posted whilst we were away. Ah, man, really? There was something right there? Poop. Oh, well. Also, Corporate Trader letting us know that this one will be moving down. It is Faction Tritachyon. I don't really want to make any enemies of the factions just yet. And I certainly don't want to make an enemy of Tritachyon. Pirate activity in here, though. So there's going to be a bunch of piratic. Great. We could just skip past this one and go to one of the other systems. Well, I mean, yes, it was left from the way that my helmsman was flying, yes, but I meant right on the screen. But we've also completed a mission as well. Right, okay, I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit, I think. Planets are all about 4 or more kilometers away, so let's go in here. Ilum is only 1 kilometer from there. Right, time to turn on our transponder. It's been a long time since we've had this active. Hello. Drop down a safe. This place is probably going to be heaving with activity. You saw it there. Fast picket ship. Are they in combat with anything? Probably not. Can't actually tell who they are. Either way. Right. We need to do so much stuff. Right. I'm actually carrying black market goods. First and foremost. Yikes. But we have brought a bunch of survey data. Let's go ahead and sell all of that. That's not a very good price, honestly. Is there anyone really nearby? No. Now, the pirates are willing to pay a crazy premium on this because they are in a deficit for organs. We can go to Magic and make a decent trade. Magic there. Yeah, actually, Magic is one of the places with the best price for base metals as well. So that might be something for us to do. Do I want to learn... You know what? I may as well learn the Perdition Wing Blueprint. I lose nothing by learning it. Okay. I could sell a bunch of these weapons. It might actually be worth it. But first and foremost, I'm going to say what I would like to do is change, is to re-equip my fleet. So let's have a look then. We're going to need a bunch of crew for this. Oh, my lord. This is our only cruiser. It's quite a nice cruiser to have as well. And it has been completely repaired of all of its defects. In fact, many of our ships have been quite heavily repaired. Right, how many are we going to need? 613 crew in total. Oof. All right. $43 per is on the high end, frankly. How close is the best place to get crew? Well, we're going in the direction of the Umbra pirates. Asconia is really close to Magic. And it's a difference of almost a quarter the price. No, they're not a one-time payment, Will. That's your hiring fee. The crew are actually one of the only recurring payments you have. Officers, crew, and marines, you don't pay money to maintain your ships. The way the cost of maintaining your ships is in supplies and fuel, which cost money. So you do in a roundabout way, but you don't pay like a monetary fee to have your ships, but you pay for the crew. That's mostly where your recurring fees are going to come from. All right, we're going to re-mothball you then. Keep you mothballed, but I will top up the crew strength in this market just to get enough to run the ships we've got. That's it. How about Marines? Not a terrible price, actually, but again, Umbra Pirates have got an excess of Marines, so we could always get a couple there. Now, we've got very low suspicion, and I'm very happy about that. Ooh, yes. I am absolutely purchasing this mod spec. What about you, Claw? Yeah, we're gonna get that. Now, this will... Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't bump our suspicion. Okay. Excellent. Let's get that mod spec done. All right, so we've got a couple of things we want to do. Right now, a few things to understand about sensors. And this is true for both your sensor range and also your sensor profile. There will be a flat amount of sensor profile and a flat amount of sensor range, to which the top 5 ships in your fleet are added, and then additional modifiers are added. But only the biggest 5 ships affect your sensor profile, and only the 5 ships with the best sensor suite are added to your sensor strength. After that, it's things like mod specs, like the high resolution sensors will get added as a base addition to your sensor strength, and things like phase ships will be deducted from your sensor profile. So as you can see here, our base sensor strength is 300, and the top 5 ships get added to that, which gives us our total sensor strength. Oh, and our specific character fleet skill, which adds to sensors. Also, anything with high resolution sensors, that gets added on as well. But if we have a look at sensor profile, here we go. Again, exactly the same. The biggest ships add, the top 5 ships add to that sensor profile. Right now, the ISS Umbra is one of the worst for us. But we've got a couple of ships that we need to name. I do believe. You know what? One thing I'm going to do is make this a lot easier for me so I can see whether I've... Oh, really? I hope I spelled that right. I need to remove the ISS. Did I spell Martin's name right? I hope I did. Hi, Kaiser. This is going to make it so much easier for me to see if I've named a ship before. What? Hi, Kaiser? My lord. Diaphan. Zen Muffin with a 1. Oh, we didn't need to name you as well. Mac 1 Fireman. Melissa Riddle. The Riddle or Riddle? I think it's Callie. Actually, I can just read it over there. Beersworth, Yoko. Nexus, Tramian. Crafty Old Goat. Jazza 43. Bowtie. Almost there. What does ISS mean? Independent Starship. HSS, Hegemony Starship. I imagine they all follow the same naming convention. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, and indeed 3 ships to name. You know the drill, everyone. In a moment, I am going to unpause the redemptions of name in game. You will have an incredibly short window to pop down 10,000 dapper ducats to have your name in game. The first 3 will be used, and the rest will be refunded. Good luck to everyone. And go. Okay. Elof Hitter, Salakin, and Jan all got in. Matt Edge and Valentis, I am afraid you didn't quite make it. But you were close. So, naming from the top down. Oop. Elof Hitter. The troop transport. Salakin 1312. And finally, last but certainly not least, Jan 96. May you have Chernobog instead of your own name? Yeah, sure. You're very, very welcome. Right, okay then. Now, first and foremost, militarized subsystems, please. That reduces the sensor profile to 60. I don't need to reduce it any further than that. It's good enough. I believe small ballistic there. Actually, let's reduce that a little bit further. Light machine guns. If there are light machine guns available... Light machine gun, good. And this can be light dual machine gun there. There we are. I think that's a bit of a better setup. Now, which ships are the biggest sensor reads? Because I want to reduce their sensor profile. Also, seriously?